Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh yeah, look at this cheesy smile. That's Nadar from the Middle East. So Nadar put out a video to my attention. What he was doing was sharing his opinion on my comment about a possible civil war, as well as some other things. We'll go over that here in just a moment after I cover a little bit of the news. There's not a whole lot going on. I think this would be an interesting way to do an interview with Nadar. I'm curious what the Iraqi people over there think about Sadr resigning. My impression was the majority of the Iraqi people were wanting Sadr to really form the government, and now we know that's not going to happen. So if Nadar don't mind, my friend, I'm going to ask you some questions a little bit later on in this video. If you have the time and you want to answer them, I surely would appreciate it, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who have similar questions to what I have. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, and you should be, of course, give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. To my subscribers over there on Pimpy's News Network, this could be you. Or even better, this could be you. All 15 squares full, which led to a 64,000 jackpot that I got. That's right. If you're a subscriber on Pimpy's News Network and you pay $5 or more per month, this could be you. Once a month, we will select one name out of the network that pays $5 or more on their subscription, and you will automatically be entered into a drawing. If your name is selected, we will reach out to you via email to let you know you have been selected. We will let you know what day. We will go live on air from the casino, put in $100 on your behalf, and from there, everybody could watch live to see if you walk away with hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and possibly even tens of thousands of dollars. We will all see live on air what the outcome is. That's going to be the fun part of this whole thing. So come on over and join Pimpy's News Network. $5 a month is all you have to pay to be eligible for the drawing. And again, if you're selected, we will do this live on air. You will see what the winner gets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come on over there and join us. I look forward to it. Oh yeah, we're going to be selecting somebody off of Pimpy's News Network. All people who are paying $5 or more per month for the subscription are automatically entered into the drawing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's just kind of go over a couple of articles that are in the news. This article really didn't grab my attention too much, but there is some language being used in this article that I notice are used in other articles regarding other countries that I think are interesting. When we're talking about the World Bank, the IMF, you got to understand the Rothschild banks. These are controlled by the United States. So when I go through these articles and I read this type of language, it says things like the following. It says a workshop to develop the work of the Public Debt and Debt Management Department in accordance with modern international standards in cooperation with the World Bank, with the participants of a group of specialists and experts in aspects of public debt management. In other words, if you get involved with them, they're like the mafia. Once they have you, they have you. They're trying to make sure that all banks around the world are linked in together so they can force us into the CBDC. All right, so what do we have here? We have Amari and Zidane entered a closed-door meeting with Barham Saleh, who's the president of Iraq. So they had a meeting with him, and I'm curious to see what it is they're discussing. We know that Saleh has been nominated as the candidate by the group that is supposed to pick the president. It said here an informed source said on Monday that the meeting was held, which he described as special, that brought together the president of the republic, which is Barham Saleh, and the president of the Supreme Judicial Council. I believe this is the same Supreme Court justice. I might be wrong on this, but I believe this is the same one that said that the current government cannot pass any laws or do any real big changes until the new government's taken over. So they're meeting with them. I'm curious to see what the real discussion is about. Also, the head of the Al Fatah Alliance, Amiri, was there as well. Barham Saleh, the candidate of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan for the presidency of the Republic for a second term, and this step caused a dispute with the Kurdistan Democratic Party, which submitted its nomination, which is Riber Ahmed, Minister of the Interior of Kurdistan region, for the post of presidency of Iraq. Prior to the meeting, Amiri called on the religious authority and Najaf to intervene to save the political process in Iraq. So you see, it's not just the Iraqi people who are having issues, but also you got some bickering going on between the Kurds. So these developments came after the leader, Sadr, expelled his deputies from parliament, and a step that was considered a leap into the unknown and the Iraqi political ambiguity for the next stage. Saleh, Al-Kadhimi, and Zidane are discussing a real solution to the political crisis that guarantees the unity of Iraq. This could be hard to do because the same group of people that the protesters rose up about are the same people now going to form the government. So the President of the Republic, Barham Saleh, and the Prime Minister, Al-Kadhimi, and the President of the Supreme Court Judicial Council, Zidane, discussed the development of the political scene. A statement by the judiciary, which the news received a copy, stated the President of the Supreme Judicial Council hosted the President of the Republic, Barham Saleh, and the Prime Minister, Al-Kadhimi, and discussed with them the developments of the political scene and its repercussions on the economic and service reality of the country. The three presidents agreed to call on all political forces to unite their ranks and reach a realistic solution to the political crisis in a way that guarantees Iraqis' unity and interests at all levels. He also called on the parties to the meeting, all elites and media, cultured events, to calm down and spread the spirit of love and societal solidarity amongst all spectrums and components of Iraqi people. See, this is my concern, that there's a civil unrest breaks out. I know civil wars don't just happen overnight. They don't happen that easily. But there are a lot of countries, not just Iraq, but even our own country here, where people are so politically divided more than they ever have been before. But you got to understand this World Economic Forum, this Great Reset, they're trying to reduce the world's population. It wouldn't be unlike them to continue to feed the fire into political unrest, hoping that nations would start fighting with one another. I mean, Bible prophecy talks about nation against nation, brother against brother, so it wouldn't be surprising if these people egged on a civil war. They're trying to do it here in America. I think a lot of people are waking up to that. And this isn't, like tinfoil hat wearing crap I'm talking about. This is realistic. The media feeds into it, our politicians feed into it. It wouldn't be surprising, especially with all the tyrannical moves that the Dems have been making, including sending, and a lot of people aren't aware of this, including sending our military door to door to confiscate guns. Did you know that was happening? All right, so Nadar from the Middle East released this quick video that I want to share with you guys and also respond to it. Nadar, sir, I appreciate you reaching out. So let's go over this video and hear what Nadar has to say.
You're from the Middle East. All right, answer to Pimpy. First, I put that to see, I was looking for the cheapest currency against the dollar in the world, and they gave me 10, and Iraq is not one of them.
Okay, so the first time I heard you say that in this video, I was a little surprised. I thought for sure Iraq would be somewhere in the top 10. You see that Vietnam's on there. We know, of course, that Iran's number one due to all the sanctions. But yeah, I think I was just as surprised as you that one of the cheapest currencies not listed on here is Iraq. I was a little surprised.
It's weird. I found that a little weird. It's good. If it's not the cheapest, it's good. Discussion with Pimpy about the Civil War. Pimpy, the Civil War is hard to happen here. We can't let that happen, the Civil War. We can do demonstration, go out on the street and ask for a right, but to start a Civil War is really hard for two reasons, for economy and security. Economy, a lot of people take advantage of, a lot of countries will take advantage of Iraq if that happened. Iran, Turkey, Saudis, and. Second thing, it's ISIS, and when they say security, it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all terrorist organizations. So we have to be careful, and we should not let that happen.
So I agree with Nader, and that is this. it's not easy to just break into a civil war. If you just take a quick look at Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, just to name a couple of countries that are currently in civil war, and you take a look at all the political rhetoric that's out there right now, even though I agree it's not that easy to be pushed into a civil war, I don't think it's impossible, my friend. Our own country, believe it or not, is pretty close. We know that the Dems are in power right now, which is not a good thing. And right now they're trying to push for a lot of laws and changes before midterms. And now they got the coward Republicans backing down. Every day we see these mass shootings. People got to realize that these mass shootings are part of MK Ultra. This is part of this agenda. They really want to take away our guns. So the fact that they're going door to door right now with the military, and yes, they're doing that, and the media is not covering it. Our citizens should be rising up to fight against that, because once they take our guns, it's over. Every single government which confiscated guns from its citizens, with a handful of exceptions, ends up killing tens of millions of their citizens that don't agree with their agenda and claim they need to be in some kind of reform or re-education camp. If you think we're past those days, you're sadly mistaken. We had AOC saying that they should keep a list of people who support Trump. What the hell are you talking about, you little psycho bitch? Are you nuts? Seriously, freaking Seabiscuit. Anyways, sorry about that. But the fact that she's just blurting out that they need to keep a list, that's some pretty sick crap. That's a tyrannical government. But the American citizens are waking up to this crap. This is the last ditch effort for the Democrats to make this push, because once midterms come, it's over. Unless they can find another way to rig an election, it's over. So after that, we are going to be really pushing for the next government in power to start making amendments and securing our own constitutional laws, in my opinion. But you can see by the way I'm talking, I'm pretty passionate about this. So there is a lot going on, even in our own country. I don't want civil war over there. I hope everything goes peacefully. But if I'm not mistaken, and Nadar, you could probably correct me on this, Maliki's group of people were the group of people that Iraqis rose up against in October of 2019. They didn't want the people in power. They resigned. And then we got Al-Qademi in there, which ended up being a godsend, in my opinion. He's done a lot of amazing things for the Iraqi people, as far as I could tell, according to the news. Now, having said that, if those same people are trying to get back into power, aren't the people going to rise up again? I mean, it's already starting to happen. I'm seeing all kinds of little news articles in little different provinces in Iraq of people rising up. They're not happy about what Sadr did. I think what Sadr did was a bad thing. I think he really just handed over Iraq on a silver platter to Iran, as well as these Iran-backed politicians. So this is not good. This is not what we want. So I'm curious about your input on there. So I guess here's my questions to you, Nader, if you don't mind answering them. And I'm sure a lot of us have the same questions. One, what is the public saying about Sadr resigning? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Two, isn't Maliki and the coordinating framework the same group of people that the Iraqi people rose up against in 2019? If that's the case, then they're corrupt people. They opened up fire on unarmed protesters. I would imagine that pain is still lingering with a lot of Iraqi citizens. And if that's the case, I think you can see a major uprising. I agree with you. You don't want civil war, because if you do in Iraq, that's just an open door opportunity for terrorist groups like ISIS to sneak in there and start tickling the ears of young citizens there and recruiting more people. And then we're starting all over again, which is a caliphate being established in Iraq. Keep in mind, Iran wants Iraq to become an Islamic state. So that's always got to be on the back of your minds. So I just think it's a bad move. I was hoping Sadr would stay and fight, but I do understand he's a man of the people, it appears. So I'm just wondering how the Iraqi people feel about Sadr's resignation, him and all his deputies, as well as the coordinating framework possibly taking control and forming the government. I'm just curious how they feel about that over there, my friend, if you don't mind answering. But I agree with you. Civil war is not that hard, but I don't think it's impossible. I think it's a lot closer than you might think, only because of the coordinating framework. I might be wrong on that one. I don't want that to happen. I feel like ever since Al Kadhimi and Saleh have been there, they have been doing great things for the Iraqi people. I know the Iraqi people were upset about the devaluing of the Iraqi dinar. It really did save them from an economic catastrophe. And then ever since then, they have set all kinds of records. Record growth in GDP, record sales of oil, record surplus. So they were doing great things for the Iraqi people. My hopes are whoever controls the next government continues to use the path set in those white papers to make sure that Iraq stays on course of recovery. I really do hope and pray for the peace and prosperity of the Iraqi people. I just don't feel that's possible under the coordinated framework in Maliki. I might be wrong, so I'm hoping to hear you comment on that. Remember, if we're talking about changing the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar, you have to have a stable government, stable economy. So let's continue here.
Third thing, it's the budget. The budget, you know, if they don't pass it next month, they will not never pass it this year. They will pass it like a few years later. 2023. So
I hear you, my friend, on this one. I think what is going to matter is how quickly they're going to be able to form this government. If they keep dragging ass like they're doing, I agree with you. They most likely won't pass the 2022 budget until 2023, along with 2023. It's unfortunate because I think it's really, really hindering any true GDP and economic growth over there in Iraq, who has the potential to do phenomenal things this year as well as next year. If they could just get a government that's formed, that's actually there to work for the people.
we'll see that. And I don't think the exchange rate. I mean, maybe it's in, but it's not gonna change. I don't think they're gonna change it. So you need a miracle for this shit. I'm
I hear you. No, I don't think you're going to see any kind of change in the dinar exchange rate anytime soon. I was saying 2 years at the earliest, at best. And there was a lot of reasons for that. One was the development of the government, the stability of the government and the economy and the country. Now that Sauter has resigned, as well as all his deputies, I'm not feeling as positive as I was before, just because of what those politicians have done in the past. But who knows? Maybe they've turned a new leaf. Maybe they're different people, and they actually will go in there and they'll end corruption, continue to follow the white papers, and help with the recovery of Iraq.
telling you, you need a miracle for that. I agree with you when you said 2 years. I mean, I'm expecting 225. Tell you the truth. So 225,
At this point, 225 is like a more realistic, my friend.
and I don't know what's gonna happen then. So guys, don't be disappointed. Don't believe everything you see on, like, you know, on gurus and all stuff, and you know, hey, this is happening. If you look at the picture they put, you know, when the CBI given a gift to the Bank of London, it was at 25,000 dinars. If you look closely, it's 25,000 dinars. That's what the gift they got. Anything, I mean, small category is gonna happen, but I don't know if it's gonna happen now. It's, you know, it's too early. I think it's too. They're working on it, and it'll take time. They said it, and that's it. Later from least, guys. Have a good day. And the only reason I put that, you know, to show you guys, Iraq is not the cheapest, and it's not in a 10 either. So it's weird.
Yeah, Nadar, I agree with you. I was not expecting that. I really did think that they were definitely on a top 10 list. But that is a good thing. At least they're not the cheapest. But as you can see, there are a lot of countries who are developing their currency even more. And that includes the United States. So that's not surprising. As many countries are devaluing their currency, it almost appears like this was part of some type of agenda. So the Nader over there in the Middle East, I just want to say my thoughts and prayers are with the Iraqi people. In the beginning, I was all about this investment. As time went on and I got to know you guys' politics a little bit, and I had an opportunity to really read a lot of what's going on in Iraq, it just really pains me to see the Iraqi people struggle. There's no reason for it. There's no reason why that country could not be a lot more prosperous, that's for sure. The only thing I can think of is the corrupt people that continue to find a way to stay in power are the ones that are holding back all the Iraqi people. And we have that same thing happening here in the United States. All right, my friends. So again, Stay safe out there. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, as well as the Iraqi people. Hopefully you get a chance to answer some of the questions I posted in this video, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are curious about that. Anyways, that's it for now, my friends. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.